You won't hear this analysis anywhere. Not because it's secret, because it sounds boring. Until it suddenly isn't. So let me ask you something. To Veep or not to Veep? We're still more than a year away from real presidential chaos. Right now, it's soft opening season. Everyone's pretending they're not running. Everyone is absolutely running. You've got your predictable headliners. This guy and that guy. Fine, but here's what's actually interesting. Not who's running at the top of the ticket. Who's rehearsing to be second? Because historically, the vice presidency isn't about inspiration. It's about insurance. Geography, demographics, reassurance. It's like a political backup hard drive. You don't check it every day. You just need to know it exists. But modern politics changed that. Veep is no longer just in case. It's just wait. Land that slot in 2028? You're basically pre-booking 2036, maybe 2040. So let's walk through this together. Let's start with Democrats. Not because I favor them, not because I don't. Because strategically, they have a plausible path. From where I'm sitting, two names keep hovering near the runway. Jon Ossoff of Georgia, James Talarico of Texas. Now Ossoff, let's be honest. He looks like casting director ordered the type, future president, moderate edition. Calm voice, clean messaging.
The American people are asking, why are roving gangs of masked men who look like they couldn't pass the Army physical exam dressed up like pretend Delta Force operators, wearing camouflage and carrying ARs on the streets of American cities, setting up checkpoints to harass commuters, demanding papers, dragging people screaming from their cars, and shooting people?
Listen to that. He already sounds like he's explaining fiscal stability from the Oval Office. But here's where it gets complicated. The activist wing of the Democratic Party doesn't always want safe. They want symbolic breakthroughs, energy, revolution. Well, we've run that experiment before. Symbolism doesn't always translate into electoral math. Ossoff is not revolutionary. He's reassuring. And depending on the mood of the country, that's either brilliant or boring. Now Talarico. Young, Christian, Democrat, from Texas. That combination alone makes GOP strategists reach for aspirin.
You know why politics sucks right now? It's not any one politician, it is the system itself. Who was sitting in the front row at the inauguration? Who runs the 24-hour corporate media that treats news as entertainment? Who owns the algorithms that keep us angry and divided?
Texas is not Oregon. It may flirt with Democrats, it does not commit. But now Talarico has cleared the Democratic primaries. He's the nominee for the Senate. And that changes the equation. If he wins, that's triumph for the Democrats. And that's future Veep math. I can compete in Texas. That line alone can get you into serious conversations. This isn't ideology, it's map geometry. Now let's cross the aisle. And yes, let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. For years, she performed loyalty. Now, she performs independence. That's not a personality change. That's positioning. She's subtly testing a message. I can carry MAGA, but I'm not owned by it.
MAGA is, I think people are realizing it was all a lie. It was a big lie for the people. What MAGA is really serving is, in this administration, who they're serving is their big donors.
That's a delicate dance. In Trump world, loyalty is currency. Independence? That's a gamble. If you miscalculate that equation, you don't become Veep, you become a footnote. And then there's Thomas Massie. Libertarian edge, rebellious streak. He doesn't audition with applause, he auditions with friction.
40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
Red-handed? There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a co-conspirator.
4,700,
Okay.
and we invited you
Show the
in.
video.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get, you're a failed politician.
Now here's the interesting part. everyone assumes Bondi was defending Trump. Sure, that's one reading. But what if this wasn't about loyalty? What if it was about positioning? What if Bondi sees 2028 as an audition season too? And somewhere in the background, a presumptive nominee is quietly thinking,
even if you're asking a tough question, even if you take your job very seriously, like, why does it always have to be so antagonistic?
Politics is brutal like that. Sometimes the loudest argument in the room isn't about policy. It's about proximity to power. Massie auditions with defiance. Bondi auditions with loyalty. The nominee, whoever that is, chooses based on utility. Do you want a stabilizer or a lightning rod? That choice shapes the entire ticket. Yes, someone will say, what about ambitious cabinet members? Sure, but a cabinet built for television doesn't necessarily build a national ticket. That leaves us with Marco Rubio. Plausible. Beyond that, the bench thins out quickly, and politics is merciless to thin benches. So here we are, March 2026. No one is officially running. Everyone is auditioning. And here's the thing people miss. The vice presidency used to balance tickets. Now it balances futures. It used to be a spare tire. Now it might be the steering wheel. Every viral clip, every accidental media moment, every speech, it's not noise, it's rehearsal. So let me ask you, if you were building a 2028 ticket, would you choose geography, energy, loyalty, ideology, electability, or someone who simply looks presidential in 4K? Drop your theory, because elections don't start when voters notice. They start when positioning begins, and positioning has already begun.